crowd.
Close your eyes and picture the following. Imagine an open clearing filled with beautiful flowers and tiny animals. This passage seems close to the magic of a Disney movie. Now, imagine this field filled with the stiff and motionless bodies of casualties of war. Men who have given their lives to fight for a cause that they truly believe in. This picture is a depiction of the chaos brought down upon the United States during the time of war. Abraham Lincoln was a rock during the time of the Civil War. With opinions of slavery from both parties ringing in his ear, Lincoln had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And with the world against him, he decided to abolish slavery. The Civil War was a time of turmoil for everyone involved. During the mid-1800s, the northern states wanted to eradicate slavery. The northern states, known as the Union, remained loyal to the United States. All of the Union states provided brave and patriotic soldiers for the U.S. Army during the Civil War. The Union states invested a great deal of money and effort into organizing psychological and social support for the soldiers' wives, widows, orphans, and for the soldiers themselves. The Southern states, or the Confederacy, had the opposite opinion on slavery, however. The Confederate States of America, better known as the Confederacy, consisted of the lower region of the United States. They were dependent on the agriculture, particularly cotton, which relied heavily upon the enslavement of African Americans. Many Southerners had considered themselves more Southern than American and would fight for their state and their region to be independent of the larger nation. Not only did the political parties split, but national churches and interstate families as well divided along the sectional lines as the war approached. The Confederacy's attitudes never broke, and they fought to the death for their cause. Both parties depreciated war, but one of them would make war rather than let the nation survive, and the other would accept war rather than let it perish. These two political sides caused a great deal of pain throughout the nation. When Abraham Lincoln stepped up to make the states a whole country, that is where you saw the true valor ensue. Abraham Lincoln led the United States through its Civil War, its bloodiest war, and greatest moral, constitutional, and political crisis. In doing so, he preserved the Union, abolished slavery, strengthened the federal government, and modernized the economy. As the leader of the moderate faction of the Republican Party, Lincoln confronted radical Republicans who demanded harsher treatment of the South, war Democrats who called for more of a compromise, anti-war Democrats who despised him, and irreconcilable secessionists who plotted his assassination. But Lincoln fought back, and his Gettysburg Address became an iconic endorsement of the principles of nationalism, republicanism, equal rights, liberty, and democracy. Abraham Lincoln still believed in a united country despite half of the states against him. Lincoln initially concentrated on the military and political dimensions of the war. His primary goal, however, was to reunite the nation. Lincoln courageously took the stand and spoke out words of wisdom as they rang across the nation. I cannot but hate it. I hate it because of the monstrous injustice of slavery itself. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall. But I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. Conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proportion that all men are created equal. On April 14, 1865, 5 days after the surrender of the Confederate commanding general Robert E. Lee, John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer, assassinated Lincoln. Abraham showed great strength and heroism in dealing with a country that no longer would listen. He brought a nation back on its feet after the world crashed down around its people. Without Abraham Lincoln, we would not know what bravery and compassion looked like. He declared that the deaths of so many brave soldiers would not be in vain, that slavery would end as a result of the losses, and the future of democracy in the world would be assured. That government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. Lincoln concluded that the Civil War had a profound objective, a new birth of the freedom of the nation.